The red brick building, just past the intersection on your right, is called the Good Kind Block. It was built in 1884, earlier than many of the downtown buildings, and held the Good Kind Brothers wine and cigar business for several decades. Over the years, it has also served as a Montgomery Ward's and the State Nursery and Seed Company. Next on your right, note the gold block with its distinctive green door. Its post-fire reconstruction blended mission styling with Gothic influences. Charles Benton Power, a wealthy local, commissioned architect George Carsley to design the new structure, which incorporated a unique spiral mushroom system for earthquake resistance. This building epitomizes commercial architecture of the late 1920s. Just after the New York block on the right, take note of the Lalonde building. Built in 1929, its cream-colored glazed ceramic tile veneer stands out. Owned by Napoleon Lalonde, this modernized architecture replaced the Bailey block lost to the 1928 fire. This swift reconstruction mirrors the spirit of local merchants reinvesting with confidence. One of its first tenants was the Parrot Confectionery, which still operates there.
Next on your right, the light-colored stone building is the Granite Block, a building with a rich history. In 1928, a destructive fire swept through this block, causing significant damage. Even the F.W. Woolworth store, which had only recently moved in the year prior, was not spared. But don't be disheartened, as the Granite Building rose from the ashes. Built in the late 1920s, this current building features a limestone facade with decorative panels and shields. Keep your eyes peeled for the intricate details, including garlands of fruits and a limestone urn atop the pediment.
On your left, look at the brown and gray stone building. This was the magnificent First National Bank. Built in 1886, this historic structure was once the home of Montana Territory's first bank. The talented architects from St. Paul combined various architectural styles, including Romanesque, French Second Empire, and Victorian period elements. Made of native granite and brown Wisconsin sandstone, this three-story masterpiece showcases the prosperity in Helena in the 1880s. Look for the fish downspout and bank president Samuel Hauser's thumbprint in the circle, between the arches, on the west facade. The Atlas Block is coming up on your left, the tall gray building with the grand stone archway entrance. It was built in 1889, and if you look carefully at the center column, you will see the figure of Atlas supporting the building, while up on top of the building you can find some mythical creatures. There is a historic plaque just to the right of the arch if you want to read more. As the walking mall continues across the road on the left, you will see a sculpture titled The Prospectors. Created by Linda Pomeroy in 1974, this welded metal sculpture portrays miners at their sluice box, showcasing the mining practices of the American West. The sculpture is a visual depiction of Helena's early days. Originally, the sluice box would fill with water and empty via gravity about 4 times per minute. Check out the tall, narrow stone building on your right. This was the Sands Brothers dry goods store from 1874 to 1889. You may notice a striking resemblance to the larger power block at the entrance to the walking mall. Straight up ahead of you in the middle of the walking mall is a yellow trolley. In 1883, Joseph O'Neill began a taxi service using horse-drawn trolleys like this one. For 10 cents, passengers could ride between downtown and the Northern Pacific train depot a mile northeast. If you get a chance, you should drive over and check out the depot and its neighborhood.
Coming up on your right-hand side, you'll spot a tall and narrow grey building, now a Zada Imports. The building dates back to the 1860s. This historic structure, along with its neighbouring buildings, played a significant role in the early commercial community. It was in 1890 when August Fack decided to enhance the original single-storey building by adding a second floor and a brick storefront. One of the highlights of this establishment, called Fack's California Wine House, was its remarkable art collection. As Prohibition started in 1980,
The last building on your right, the white one, sits on a significant location. It was right at that spot on July 14, 1864, where the great gold discovery was made. The first bank in the Montana Territory was appropriately called the First National Bank and was built here 2 years later in 1866. 20 years later in 1886, the bank building was demolished and tests of its mortar showed a high gold content. The current building replaced the bank and became known as Uncle Sam's Block due to the site's financial history.
this red brick building on your right is the library. If you look at the landscaping on this corner, there is a large granite rock carved into a buffalo head. This buffalo head adorned the entrance to the Montana National Bank, owned by Charles Broadwater.
As you walk south past the Lewis and Clark Library, you are entering what once was Helena's Chinatown district. Around the 1870s, nearly 1/5 of Helena's population was Chinese miners and merchants. Along Park Avenue, the street running parallel up to your right, there were Chinese shops, groceries, and laundries. This same area intermixed with Helena's red light district. If you look at the federal building straight ahead of you, in the parking lot to the right, once stood a Chinese Masonic temple. Up ahead, keep an eye out for Reeder's Alley, a testament to the pioneer era. Named after Lewis Reeder, this alleyway was lined with red brick buildings that provided accommodation for miners in the 19th century. Take a short walk down the historic alley to see what was the original real estate property to house early gold miners.